Hello everyone, just got back from the gym and I hadn't done my wrap-up video for September, so I thought I would do that. Here are some of the books that I read during September, but I did read some audiobooks as well that I don't have to show you. So we're going to go ahead and go over these. So I have The Long Walk by Stephen King, which I already talked about in the previous video where it was like 44 book reviews, something like that. I did like this one. The ending I felt like was a little too vague. I wanted to get more out of it, but this book is about teenagers who join the Long Walk, and if they win, they'll basically be granted a wish and also like lots of money. And so the thing is, though, is that they're in this walking competition, but if you slow down under 4 miles an hour, you get shot. So yeah, you're building friendships while reading this book, not knowing who is going to live. The movie does have a different ending. So if you watch the movie, it stays on track, like word for word. It takes out some scenes, but then it does change the ending. And it does add in some world building that I felt like was a little bit lacking in the actual novel. So that's all I have to say about The Long Walk by Stephen King. Then we have Flesh and Blood, which I think I also talked about in that same video. This one's by Chris Presley. And these are like short 100-something page books. They are dyslexic friendly with like the font type, but also they had like actual kids read these books to make sure that they were like fast-paced, readable type of stuff. So if you have trouble getting into reading or know someone that does, then Chris Presley, the author, is a good one to look at because he's got like 4 of these. It's a World War II story. It is fiction. It is a little spooky, and I did go into depth in it in that video a little bit more. But there is a boy who, after a bombing where he was at, was like on fire, and this other kid like hears him asking for help, even though no one else hears this kid asking for help, and he gets rescued, but he's left burned, so they bandage everything up. He's got like one little eye showing. Well, the boy had also wished to have a brother instead of a sister, and some creepy things start happening, and he starts wondering if this boy is actually the brother that he wished for, and if he's going to replace the sister in a literal sense. So yeah, that's what this one is about, and there is a twist ending in this too, which I thought was really fun. Then I've got Caught Up by Nevessa Allen. I actually listened to the audiobook for this one. I didn't physically read it. I liked the audiobook for the first book, and so I went ahead and it came in, so I went ahead and got the audio for this one too. And so if you liked Lights Out, I think you'll definitely like this one. This one follows the main girl's cousin, and it is a second chance romance. It's very spicy, and the female character is like a call girl, but she also is a part owner at this Schmeck's Club. So, yeah, I think it will definitely challenge any like preconceived notions that you might have of people who have that as their kind of work. With this one, you can definitely tell that the character was into doing that kind of work, wanted to do that kind of work, and got into it. Yeah, it explains everything. It makes sense. But I did enjoy this one. It was fun. And I don't really remember a lot of murder, though. I don't know that I remembered any murder. Was there murder in this one? I'm already forgetting if there was murder. But anyway, you get more of a look into the parents too, for like this kind of like shady like crime syndicate or whatever. And so there's a reason why he like stayed away from her after high school. So you find that out too. I just like getting more into the series. I'm already excited for the next book, which is going to be green. I like that. And then I think they should do purple if there's a fourth book. But I don't know who the book's going to be about. I don't know who it's going to be. Maybe the roommate. Maybe the roommate, because we didn't get that guy yet. So I don't know. Anyway, this was good. And then we've got Ruby Dixon, By the Horns. And absolutely loved this one. I might have liked it more than the first one, but I'm not sure because I really liked the first one too. And I already talked about this one too in a previous video. She is a like repeat. They have a name for it, but I'm like, maybe it is just a repeater. Anyway, she's going through the whole thing to be an artificer again, and Raptor, which was the main guy from the other series, like friend, he is getting demoted to be like a repeater again as well, so that he can spy on other repeaters who they think are stealing artifacts and like profiting on them themselves. And so he's trying to investigate that, and he starts to think that she is in on it. It's very fun, very, very spicy. Yeah, I enjoyed this one. I liked Raptor, and I liked Gwenna. So yeah. I feel like my brain is just fried after the workout. My Plain Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, Jody Meadows. I really liked the first book. I thought the first book was super funny. I listened to the audiobook of this one, and I just didn't really get into it at all, to be honest. Which I always am. But I'm just saying. Yeah, I have another book in the series, I think. I think I have the third book in the series, so I will still continue. But this one just didn't have the humor in it, which was the whole reason why I liked the other one. Historical fiction is not really my thing. This one did have like a society though that she was wanting to get in. And so that was cool. But there was another book that I read that was historical. Anyway, this one was like a spooky type of society. I don't know. It says, a fantastic romantic comedy, entirely faithful retelling of Jane Eyre. But then it says, but not really, for the entirely faithful. You may think you know the story. After a miserable childhood, penniless orphan Jane Eyre becomes a governess at Thornhill Hall. There she meets one dark, brooding Mr. Rochester. Despite their significant age gap and his uneven temper, they fall in love, and reader, she marries him. We have a different story to tell. Yeah, I didn't really get the romance at all. Like, it was there, I just didn't feel it. Which is why I didn't care for the book. Yeah, it says, best friends with a ghost for Jane. Jane has endured years of hardship and misery and is ready to embark on a new life as a governess at Thornhill. She's rather poor, she's rather plain, also she has terrible taste in men. Charlotte, just try to tell her no, is an inspiring novelist. Yes, she's that Charlotte. And she's determined to capture her friend Jane's story, even if it means worming her way into the most epic ghost hunt this side of Wuthering Heights. Alexander, ghost hunter extraordinaire, is an agent of the Society for the Relocation of Wayward Spirits. He's about to discover something very disturbing going on at a little place called Thornhill. Reader, there will be murder, mayhem, conspiracy, and of course romance. Prepare for an adventure of Gothic proportions, in which all is not as it seems, and a certain gentleman, Mr. Rochester, is hiding more than skeletons in his closet. So there was a little twist in this that I thought was creative, but I didn't really like it. I did not like it. Like, I did finish the book, and it was several hours long. So it was not bad. It just was meh. I didn't get anything out of it, but I also don't regret reading it. Okay, next we have The Road to Tender Hearts, which I thought was going to be a rom-com, and it is not a rom-com. I also talked about this a bit in the previous video. So there's a cat that predicts death, and he winds up going along with PJ on this road trip because this woman that he danced with, like in high school or whatever, before he got sent off to war because he was drafted, her husband has died, so he wants to go see her. Also, his mom left him when he was younger, and he also has a brother that was from different parents, and the brother was really horrible dude, and that brother is the granddad for the PJ's great niece and nephew. And so their mom and dad die in a murder suicide thing. And so then PJ takes them on, gets custody of them, and they all go on this road trip together. So that's what this book is about. It is funny, even though there are some dark parts in it. They keep everywhere they're going disaster strikes, and that's the whole thing with the cat. It predicts death. It's almost like it's leading them to people dying in really odd ways too. So yeah, this is an interesting book. I think I do like the other book by her more. So yeah, but this is her newest book. So, and I did get to meet the author, so that was nice. All right. Now for the ebooks. Ebooks. Or not ebooks, but the, well, yeah, some of them are. For the other books. So there were 6 that I listened to that were part of an Amazon original series. And I don't remember the specifics of each and every one. I did really like the Ruby Dixon Space Vampire one. And I liked the Hot for Slayer by Allie Hazelwood. And there was I remember I liked the other ones too. But because I literally read all 6 within 2 days, so differentiating them is a little difficult. But they all do have some spice. So they all do have a romance with someone who's a monster in some form, so a vampire or a golem or something like that. I think it was the spicy little curses one that I also really enjoyed. Yeah. Anyway, so all 6 of those I liked and I would recommend. They're all fast. If you do the audiobook, they're 2 hours or less. Another audiobook that I listened to was Captain Underpants, and I can't read on my little paper here what the subtitle of that one was, but I downloaded a book because I had my nieces and nephews over for our first little sleepover. They hadn't had a sleepover at my house before, so we did that and we had a great day together, and I got little photos of them at the park and everything. So we listened to that everywhere we drove. They were giggling in the back seat, and they are 4 and 6 years old. So yeah, young children love Captain Underpants. But I enjoyed it too. It was fun. So always go for Captain Underpants if you want an audiobook for kids around. This one also I think was the last in the series because it does kind of have a way to close it off. So I think it might actually be the last of the Captain Underpants books. I don't feel like you need to read them in order. But this one had the theme of there was this person that came up with a way to basically make children obedient. So kind of taking the child out of the child. And so they were just being obedient. And then the 2 main characters are rascals, and they have twins from the last story, clones of themselves that they're making go to school. for them and like do their homework, which was funny. And then they discover that the other kids are like becoming well behaved and they don't like that. So they're trying to fix it and take down whoever's created this serum. So that's what the story's about. Then I read some graphic novels. So we have Swing It Sunny and Sunny with a Splash. I enjoy these. They're based off of like childhood in the 70s. And they also take inspiration from the actual authors. So like Swing It Sunny had like a flag girl type thing, which I did, but the version that they had was a little different. Not quite the same. More like a baton twirler than a flag girl, but they did have flags that they would spin. So yeah, anyway, I like that. I liked the Sunny with the Splash. She's working at a country club pool at the snack shack. So it's her just she's like got a job. She's like trying to grow up a little bit. Her friends have all went off on summer vacations and she's all alone looking for something to do. And so she becomes a lifeguard. And the Swing It Sunny, there was a lot with that. There's always like family dynamics that are talked about in this story that I think are super good for like 10 to 12-year-olds. I think would really enjoy these stories. They would relate to them. Sunny, I think she's like in, I'm not sure, I can't remember what grade she's in. I think she's in like, she might be in like 6th grade. 6th or 8th grade. Between those, like a middle schooler. But anyway, I really enjoy them. It's like a 6-book series. I only have one that I haven't read yet, so I need to get to that one. But she also has a brother in this one who has been taken away and put into like a military boarding school. So there's her kind of grieving that as well. There was another book that had to do with like he had like drug issues, doing drugs, and so like these books hit on things that you might not expect in a middle grade graphic novel, but I think they're done very well, and they're kept in like Sunny's perspective, so you can see how she's processing all these changes to her family, and like there's her getting a new sibling and like having to be a babysitter all the time, that sort of stuff. So I think kids could really relate to that. Then we have Cursed Princess Club. I read 2 of those, so that would be the 3rd one and the 4th one. Really enjoy these graphic novels. Highly recommend. They are princesses who are cursed or they just don't fit the social norm. So the character, like the main character in this one that it's following, the girl that's a part of the club, she's kind of like ugly. She looks sickly. She's green. She's got like mossy dark hair. And there's these hot princesses from the Plaid Kingdom. And so they've all kind of been paired up and for like an arranged marriage. But her dude is like, I'm not into her. But as the series goes on, he starts to want to be her friend because she is the kindest person you've ever met. And she understands him in a way that other people haven't. And the whole thing is like, it's not really that he just didn't like her because she was ugly. It was that he wanted like this super beautiful woman to kind of like boost his self because he was bullied at the military school that he and his brothers went to. So he's kind of like looking for someone to rescue him from that. And he didn't think it could be her, but her showing all of her kindness kind of makes him change his view on her. So I think that there could definitely be a romance there. There's also an artist guy that just like genuinely loves the way that she looks. And the thing is like Gwenna does look funky. Like she's got bug eyes and she's green. But he likes things that are imperfect because he's an artist, so he sees the beauty in things that are not perfect. So I think there's good messaging in the story. But I am excited for the 5th book, which is going to come out either at the end of this year or sometime next year. I can't remember, but anyway, I really enjoy it. The art's really good. I love the Pastel Kingdom because the colors are all pastel. I love the Jamie character. He's so funny and cute. But anyway, then we have the short story that was available for Amazon Prime members for free, and it was the Erie Basin, Erie Basin, and then it says Ivy Pokada. I don't know. I don't remember too much about this. This one person's like trying to take over a bar. That's about all I remember. It wasn't really for me. The other one that I got that was free was Dating After the End of the World by Geneva Rose. I loved this one. So this one, like, the apocalypse is happening. There's like zombies, but there's different versions of the zombies. So some of them just kind of lose their memory. Some of them are not zombies, but they become more aggressive. And then you have like your legit zombies. She is a medical type person, and it is a second chance romance. The guy that used to bully her in high school is living at the compound that her dad made. She was always made fun of because her and her dad were preppers and like doomsday people, building all this stuff for the end of the world, and then the end of the world actually happens, so she comes back home. And so her having to get back into the world that she wanted to escape, because it actually is the end of the world and it's the safest place for her to go. But yeah, I loved the second chance romance, and this one, the bully does get redeemed a bit, just because, you know, it has been like over 10 years. He's a different person, but you also get the explanation of why he was so mean in the first place, and why he allowed certain things to be said or acted a certain way. Like, you figure that out. So I really enjoyed their romance, and I love apocalyptic books, so like the training and stuff was fun to read about. I love that in stories. Then we have 2 books left. They're both by Rebecca Kinney. I really like Rebecca Kinney stuff. We've got Mistletoe and, Matches? I think this is Matches and Mistletoe. Yeah. Matches and Mistletoe, which is like a collection of short stories. There was more than one story in here, but the one that stuck out to me was the guy that would come to different villages, and he would take all of the things that were unwanted, and our main woman character becomes unwanted when her grandmother dies, and so he like puts her in his sack and takes her to where he is from. And he's like this magical being, has magical family that's been like turned into trees. And so he lets her out of the bag because he's like, I don't have anywhere to put you now where like you'll be wanted, so you'll stay here and basically like clean my house. But of course they're gonna fall for each other. I really liked it. Thought it was really good. Super romantic. Had some spice in there. Fun read, fast. I enjoyed it. And then we have another one that I really liked from her, which was Bride to the Fiend Prince, which all of a sudden I'm just forgetting everything about it. Why am I spacing? Oh my goodness. I need a second to remember. Now I remember. Okay, so she gets married to this dude. It's like an arranged marriage, but he wears a mask, and she's like, why do you wear this mask? And it's because his dad, the king, has been giving him this, like, medicine or whatever that makes him super strong in battle. But it, like, wherever, like, the soul is at for the person, it distorts it. So it's like this gooey mess on his face. It's really gross. And so he doesn't want her to see that. But it also, like, starts taking away your lifespan. So after a while, like, people die. So she wants to find a way where he can recover the powers that he once had that he lost, so that he doesn't need to take this tincture to fight all these battles for his dad. And there's also, like, the people in the kingdom have been taking this stuff too. Not all of them, but a couple of them. And there's, like, this plague and stuff that's making people die younger. And there's all this conspiracy. There's lots of twists and turns in this story. I did reveal some things. That's kind of why he's, like, known as the Fiend, I guess. It's just because, I don't know, he's just supposed to be the scary dude, but he's really not scary. Yeah, I loved them together. Yeah, I loved the romance. They have to kind of be like, they're married, but they have to have, like, a fake relationship as a married couple, because he is not going to force himself on her. And so they have to fake some things, so it gets funny. But yeah, the dad is horrible. The king is horrible. Aren't they always? But yeah, I enjoyed that. As far as my favorite of the month, I think I am going to have to go with By the Horns by Ruby Dixon, and The Fiend Prince. I think I probably like those equally, but I read them, like, this was the first book that I had read during the month, and that was one of the latter books that I had read. So I can't really tell which one I liked more. I liked both of them. But the Fiend Prince was a standalone, so that's really good. I like the occasional standalone. But anyway, I've been rambling, and I'm super sweaty from my personal training session. So I am going to end this video now and go shower and eat like 10 eggs to get a bunch of protein in me. That's something I care about now, is eating enough protein. I'm basically becoming a bodybuilder, except for I don't ever want to be in a bodybuilding competition unless it is literally the bodybuilding competition where it sees, like, how much weight and stuff you can lift. I would totally do that. But, like, the aesthetic ones, no. I find that aesthetically displeasing, to be able to see where all your veins are at. I don't like that look. I don't want to look like that. But I do want to get some muscles. And so, anyway, my dog is sleeping on the floor. Here's your little cute snapshot. My couch is real messy right now, but there's my doggy. And there is my new guitar, the acoustic blue one in the middle. That's my new guitar. I got it because a guy at the gym is doing free lessons for like 6 weeks. So I went with my electric guitar to do the lesson, but then you would need an amp, and my amp is huge. It's like 40 pounds at least. That's a lot to lug around. So I asked my piano instructor what he thought was best to learn guitar on, because he's also going to be my guitar instructor once I've gotten the piano far enough along. And he said acoustic. So I did go and get me an acoustic, because it was going to cost, maybe $100 more than the super cheap amp. So I was like, I'm just going to get the guitar. I don't need another amp. I have an amp. And that one also hooks up to an amp if you wanted to. So it's like a fancy guitar. But anyway, I'm going to go now. Bye. Thanks for watching.